To the one who conquers, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone with a new name written on the stone that no one knows except the one who receives it. The hidden manna. What is the hidden manna? The hidden manna, of course, is Jesus Christ. Because the Bible tells us that he is the bread of God that came down from heaven to give his life for the world. He is the hidden one, yes, but he has been revealed, and we come and we eat of that bread, and we drink of that cup. So he's the hidden manna. And he says, I will give to him the hidden manna, because there's a secret connected with it in conjunction with the overcomer. Look at the second blessing or reward. He says, I will have a new name written on a stone that no one knows except the one who receives it. What is the new name? Lots of speculation. Speculation about the white stone, people going back into culture and history to try to find out what it is. We'll look at it very simply. What Jesus is saying is that I'm going to give you this new name, and I don't think it'll be a new name for us. We're probably stuck with the name our parents gave us. But it is a new name about Jesus. In fact, to the church at Philadelphia, Jesus says, I believe that that's the text, he says, I will give you my new name. And no one is going to know the name I give you except you. Your wife won't. The person standing next to you in the choir of heaven. And by the way, Jerry, that's when all of us get to sing. Thank you very much. The person standing next to you in the choir of heaven will not know. Just you and me. What we're talking about here is that in heaven it isn't going to just be, this massive humanity and we are one number on God's computer. There is going to be such intimacy with Jesus that only you and he will really know what is going on between the two of you, and no one else will know it. That's why it will be worth it all when we see Jesus. Life's trials will seem so small when we see him. Imagine what Jesus is willing to give the overcomers. And Jesus is saying, you have to overcome. You have to overcome doctrinally, most assuredly. The church did that. But you also have to overcome morally. And in your walk with God, you must be an overcomer. If not, I will come and I will judge you with the sword of my mouth, and I will war against you. You notice how in the Bible there are really only two categories of people. It has nothing to do with black or white, rich or poor, educated or uneducated. It has to do with overcomers and those who follow God and those who don't. And the line is clear. Some things that we need to think about as we think about this passage in relationship to us, transforming observations. Number one, as you look at the text, you realize that Satan is the one who stands back of all false religion. I know where you dwell, where Satan's seat is. Back behind those temples to Athena, back behind the temple to Zeus, back behind all of the sacrifices that went on, there is an intelligent, powerful, evil, malicious, deceiving spirit called the devil. And back behind all the television shows that have to do with the occult, Charmed, and all those other things that young people listen to, back behind there is the devil, and back behind all false worship is Satan. Remember, I told you in the last message that primarily when you're trying to find the devil, you should go to church or the synagogue or the mosque. That's his place to deceive, to mislead, and to misdirect. And the bottom line here is that means that we are in a very spiritual battle. It's not one that it's not just a war of ideas, because all the good arguments are on our side. It's a spiritual battle with a spirit who wants to have a religion that is completely in harmony with the person's desires. It is desire-driven theology. I want God to be this way, therefore God is this way.
Well, this is Pastor Lutzer, and as I think about these messages to the 7 churches, I'm impressed with the fact that Jesus is always judging their hearts. He is looking beyond the superficial work of the church and asking, what kind of believers? How much do they love me? How obedient are they to me? Take out time to read these letters and ask yourself the question, how does your church measure up? And most importantly, how do you and I measure up in the presence of Jesus?
Erwin Lutzer with more of When Jesus Observes Our Teaching, his 4th message on what Jesus thinks of his church. Tomorrow, more on what it means to be an overcomer. Running to Win comes to you from the Moody Church in Chicago. We all need to know what Jesus thinks of his church, and this entire series will be sent on CD as our thank you when you give a gift of any amount to support Running to Win. Just call us at 1-800-215-5001. That's 1-800-215-5001. Online, go to offerrtw.com. That's offerrtw, all one word, .com. Or write to Running to Win at Box 11174, Chicago, Illinois 60611. This is Dave McAllister. Join us tomorrow for our next Running to Win.